And then there were three.
Yo, what's good, yo? We back with season 2. Y'all, we about
Let's
to get
go.
real New York on you. So I'm saying, like, follow, subscribe. And y'all, we finna be
It's
live.
pontificating, yeah, we back again. So tell your friends to tell your ratchet ass friends. Thought we was gone, but nah, no, we ain't. That you got rid of us, but no, you can't. Yeah, we gotta do this shit for real. Let me.
What up? It's your girls.
That's a headbanger. That's a headbanger.
Yo.
I'm not even gonna lie. Every time I hear it, I'm like, yo, this is the shit.
It
We
really
did
is.
that.
We did do that.
Right.
How are you guys?
I'm okay.
Caught you by surprise, huh?
Yeah,
Sure did.
That was fast.
Right.
That question rolled up real quick. That's
Just keep you on your toes. Keep you on your toes. This has been a week.
It really has been. I think everyone is sick.
Everyone's
Everyone.
exhausted.
And what's
this
this new-
virus going around?
Yeah, what the fuck is RSV? I said not another Pokemon card. Like,
Yeah, is that the one? I don't think it comes up as COVID, but everyone has it.
No, it doesn't.
it's like
just
a
like
respiratory thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, but they're saying it's COVID related.
Oh, it's
And
COVID.
mostly-
Of course.
Children and babies
Yeah.
are getting it. They're like children and babies, but like my cousin called me and she's like, "Oh yeah, my son has it." And she's like, "Oh, I have it too." I'm like, "Wait, you have it? I thought it was just,
No, my coworker
I thought it was a
had it.
kid's disease."
Yeah. And
I had
is
two
it-
coworkers who had it.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The job gave them time?
No,
No.
It's like highly contagious.
So,
they're good
We
fuck.
are- They said,
do you know
have
the
enough
times
time
we're
off,
living?
right?
You know the times we're living in. They said, y'all not gonna try to pull this bullshit again."
The only reason why we got the 10 days for COVID is because that was a state law.
Mhm.
Right.
That's the only reason why. They don't
And they
give a
were
fuck.
fighting it too, and they're like 5,
Yeah.
4. I'm like, wait, excuse me, I'm still sick. Like, I'm still dying here in the air. What is wrong with you? You want me to be coughing over people's drinks and coffees and stuff?
Right.
Absolutely.
Because
3 days,
monkeypox
like-
came out and they were like, "Good luck with that too." They was
Oh, they definitely HIV that one.
They didn't give a single
just,
bulletin.
They were like, just the gay community. Like, babe, I don't think that's how it works, but okay. Okay.
Mostly men, gay men.
Right.
That was a weird time, wasn't it?
Wild? Like,
Yeah. I was down at the hospital trying to lie saying that I'm trans so I could get the vaccine. I was like, I don't want bumps on my face. Leprosy? Baby, no.
I don't know, but
That shit was wild.
I wasn't afraid of. I don't know why. Maybe
You
I fed it. Maybe I fed into the propaganda. I just didn't feel like it was. I was like, monkeypox.
Listen,
Pox,
don't
whatever.
threaten me with some shit on my face. I'm like, COVID, fine.
No.
Bumps on my face, all over my body? Absolutely not. Shoot me up. Shoot me up. Fuck
I was
it.
concerned, but I could not get a vaccine. Like it was like a lottery. Like you had to be there when they released it.
Mhm.
And by the time you hit in your address, it was like, sorry, try again next time. I tried like 4 times, and I was like, well,
I guess I'm gonna
It's
just be
not meant
poxed
to
out
be.
here.
I guess I'm gonna just not. I don't know.
I did feel bad because I'm like, I definitely took that slot away from a gay man who probably needed it more.
Wait, so you got the vaccine?
Yes, girl. Yes, I got that
So
vaccine.
you wasn't joking.
No, I'm not getting bumps on my face.
So they said, let's take this trans man in. Let's
That lady, first of all, I had a black doctor who shot me up. They pulled up all of my information and she was like, "Oh, I can see that you had the smallpox vaccine when you were a kid." And I said, "Well, she could tell I got a vaccine when I was a kid. She also know I was born a woman and I'm literally dragging it. Dragging it. I was the only woman in that center.
She wasn't playing.
But also, you work you're a bartender, so you're in contact with people a lot, and I feel like it's also a lot of it's hand-to-hand contact too. It's not like
Right.
So you're in an environment that
my
makes it okay.
coworker, who's my baby, he's the one who convinced me. He's so toxic and chaotic. I love him. He was like, "No, baby, like you work here too. Like, let's get it." And I was like, "Right." He the one who told me about the lottery, and he was like, do it right now. They releasing it right now. We were at work, and I was like, got him.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, let's get into it as we lollygag.
Yes.
Let's start with, is it just me?
Okay, is it just me, or I mean, as we all know by now, Brittany Griner is home. Excited.
Woo-hoo.
But now I'm seeing like all this stupid ass.
Sonia, not to cut you real quick. Y'all got the same haircut.
That's not funny, Salome.
That's not funny.
That's not funny, Salome.
No,
that's
not funny.
Fucked up.
It's not funny at all. But
bro, what the fuck?
Nah, go ahead though. Go ahead.
Go ahead though.
No, that's crazy. No, what I want to say, that's
let me
crazy.
just say that the thoughts of one of us are not the thoughts of all of us.
Each individual has their own.
We are individual thinking people.
Bro,
and
that's not shade. Y'all got the same cut.
Not what's wild.
Okay. Let me just address that statement first. Because it's so crazy. Also, as many of you may know, may not know, they cut her hair and she had dreads. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure for how long locks. I'm not sure how long she had them, but they were very long. And, you know, Black women as a whole, yes, but Black women, our hair is so very important to us. Like, even me having no hair, I had to convince myself it was okay to have no hair, because it is such a thing in a Black community to have like hair and take care of it, stuff like that. So to have your hair forcibly cut off after going through all the other traumas of being in a fucking Russian jail, to have your locks, and also locks are not like, for some people, locks are very spiritual. They're very like they mean more than just like my hair. It's a connection to like the earth and to like your religion, and it's a lot. So to have your locks cut off is so dehumanizing. Mm-hmm. She's a woman. She's a queer woman. She's Black in this all white racist country, being held unjustly. And now you're going to take my hair away. So it's just really, really, really fucked up. And I just feel so bad for her. I mean, I feel bad for everything she went through, but that's like the icing on the cake. Like, what the fuck?
I didn't expect that. I did not expect that. When I saw her, I was like, is that no hair? Like, I mean,
no hair.
You can tell that she's happy to be back. And I'm so grateful and happy that she is, for her family, for, you know, whoever was rooting for her. But the no hair, I know that's killing her inside. Like, please have a... I hope she has a therapist, counselor, life coach set up, everything set up.
Yeah.
That is just so
because the support that she's going to need.
She needs it.
Yeah.
She needs it. Yes. Write your book. Have your documentary lined up. Good, but also it's just very important for her to get the counseling that she needs. Huh?
I'm sorry. You said a book?
Whatever. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I thought she had like a book or a documentary.
No,
I was about to say.
I'm sure it's coming.
Like, baby,
it
go to therapy first,
because you know niggas want to know.
Oh,
if I were taller and lighter, I would audition to play her in the documentary.
Okay, Sydney.
That's so fucked up.
It's giving Love and Basketball.
Exactly.
The double dribble.
So I don't know, like, because you know what, you can attach your locks back, right? I wish they would have done just given her locks back.
Where they probably threw them in the trash can.
They probably did, right?
Yeah.
They probably.
I'm almost certain they threw them in the trash can.
Because it said she was like enslaved, like prison. I don't know if that's like hearsay, if that's truth or whatever it is.
They moved her from where she was to another camp,
to the work camps.
Yeah. I've read Asada's book, so I know how they treat political prisoners. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure it wasn't no goddamn cakewalk.
And I just think it's so fucked up. Like that Victor Booth, whatever. He has over 25 years. Brittany got 9. Paul Whelan got whatever, served 4. And they could have did a 2 for 1. But
wait, I want to address that right now. Okay. That's my just me.
All right.
Basically, people are mad that she got sent home instead of Paul Whelan, right? Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite takes on this topic is no one knew who Paul Whelan was until until now. I'm included.
Right.
When we did our Brittany Griner episode, we discussed them. We didn't even say his name. We just said they're holding a Marine in jail.
Right.
Okay, no idea who this man is. So the outrage is like, can y'all stop fucking lying? Like, yes, so outrage. Also, he is Canadian. Now he holds 4 different countries as his citizenship. Canada, Britain, US, and I think, I don't know, a 4th one, France. I don't know fucking know. But this man is a Canadian born person, all right? So all these fucking patriots, he's not even American. Yes, he was a US Marine, but he was not fucking born in America.
How does that
Exactly. Look, do all the faces, because what the fuck are you talking about?
And did you hear? It's like, I hope President Biden is doing all he can, because I don't understand why I'm still here. You wasn't.
First of all, his brother said they made a good choice. Yeah,
Damn.
he was this. Listen, and this is not
Double
to shit on him.
homicide.
I don't want to shit on him because that man's going through it.
Right.
Also, he's a white man, and my sympathy is, yeah, you know. However, he was dishonorably discharged for larceny. He's
Was he?
Yes, he was. Yes,
he
was.
Yes, okay. What else? Because born in Canada, he's jailed for espionage, right? So the thing is, he is not Brittany Griner. That's a different. Also, there are 3 other countries who could be fighting to get him back too. 3 other major countries,
right.
because maybe not Canada, but Britain is a world power, just like the US. And yeah, next door, y'all can walk over and pick him up.
That's why Putin is like, oh nah, Brittany or nothing. Brittany
Exactly.
or nothing.
Exactly. So
they have to make a choice.
Yeah, to say no, people are saying he was even on the table. He wasn't even on the table. He was not for negotiations to be released. They said, you can have her back. Give us the arms guy. And the arms guy was like, please. And I think the arms guy, he was due to come back in like 2030. His time was up. So he only had a few more years left anyway. So all these like crazy ass Americans, you know what I mean, white people, who are trying to act like this is unjust. It's like, you didn't even know who this man was, first of all. So shut the fuck up. And second of all, this black woman, first of all, you're a U.S. Marine. Now, whether or not he was doing espionage or not, that's a work-related issue.
Right. He said, nah, I wasn't.
Right. That's what
he said, nah.
He was doing espionage for who, though?
Exactly.
Who knows for who? I don't even know for who, because he was no longer a U.S. Marine. So I don't know if it was one of the other countries he's a part of.
Tricky.
Brittany Griner was forced to go overseas to play for money to support her family and herself, and got caught with like a handful of fucking weed. She should not have gotten the same.
Bro.
Right.
I mean, by handful, I meant like a pinch of,
like a pinch of salt, like a taste, just a little
exactly, like a little sauce, like taste the sauce. It's too good.
Correct, got it. Because I was like, a handful. Oh no.
And I just feel like America, like you're showing your racism again. You're doing it. You're doing that thing where you act like you care, but you don't, and you're just being fucking racist. He's a white man, and she's a black queer woman, and you don't give a fuck about her.
Yeah.
And last thing I want to.
I had somebody say to me, I don't even want to repeat it because it was a black person. It was so outrageous. And I was like, they basically said, how dare they? He was like, we got Joanna Man and they got an arms dealer. And I was just like,
who was this black person?
It doesn't even
Joanna
matter.
Man. Funny.
And I was just like, this is the problem.
This,
that's just say that you're scared that they got back an arms dealer while they're upset at us, because it's tricky. But
yeah, I was wondering how the fuck that's gonna work. Like,
but even someone said, they said the U.S. is the biggest arms dealer there is.
Because they go to the Walmart shooting it up. You are absolutely right.
What? Yeah, it's like the lies. It's lies upon lies. We have a school shooting right now. When this happened on a Sunday.
I don't mean to laugh, but
so stop acting like you care about guns. You don't care about guns. You don't care about none of this shit. America is the biggest problem when it comes to this topic. So don't act like you're so outraged. Like stop. It's lies upon lies upon fucking lies.
Man, I'm just happy that girl home. I'm just happy that girl home.
Yes,
when I saw her in that jet, I was like, man, I could just imagine. I could just imagine how she felt. Like, it felt really good to see her. I was like, wow, she's really home. And her wife was all cheesing with her little nice, pretty teeth up in the White House.
And my thing is, like, people wasn't saying that shit when they went and got A$AP Rocky. I don't see color as.
No, right.
So
Right.
Just say y'all hate it, but y'all hate it because she's a queer black woman. Like, yeah.
Yep.
But she had people rallying for her though. Like they never stopped. So shout out to them. They really was fighting the NBA. Niggas was really trying to put their life on the line to go. So and get her back.
I just hope that this does bring like reform to the WNBA and it can make money.
Right.
Like I saw this, I don't know her name, but she was a player and she was talking about, she was like, she's not even asking for to make as much as LeBron, which you should ask for that, whatever. But she was saying she wants the same contracts they get. So like they don't get any money off their sales. So when they sell a jersey, they get no money, but like LeBron and them do. It's crazy. So she was like, if we even got profit shares, we would do better like that. But we get nothing. They just get paid their salary, and that's it. They don't get any. Let's get their own endorsement. They don't get any profits from games or merchandise, none of that stuff. But the NBA does get profit from those things.
That's crazy.
Yep. And their thing is, well, y'all are not selling out seats, so y'all not selling out stadiums, so
because they don't have the same coverage,
right? So it's like, why should we pay y'all for this stuff? Because you're not selling anyway, so we're not gonna pay you for, the things that you just discussed. That's why they don't get paid. So, because they're not selling, they don't got the crowd.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane.
All right. Speaking of sports, Ty, you have a.
I do, because I did not know that soccer could be so goddamn political. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. The death of the journalist Grant Wall, which I'm never going to be bringing up a white man, but this is crazy. The fact that Qatar, and they were already in the media during this World Cup season because they had migrant workers dying while they were making all of this money from the World Cup. So people were they were protesting that the World Cup was even held in Qatar because they are basically killing gay people in the street. They're have a staunch thing. And so everybody thinks that Grant Wall, who is a sports journalist, he's a soccer journalist, and he's an advocate for blacks and gays, and he was detained 2 days before because he had on a rainbow shirt with a soccer in the middle. So he was detained at the stadium. And then 2 days later, he's dead. And I'm like, this is a football match. I don't know. I don't watch the World Cup. I do watch the World Cup every 4 years. I don't watch soccer. I watch the World Cup because it's such it's really sad. I only watched the last match because I can't watch grown men cry on it is so emotional. They work up 4 years to win this thing, and then they don't win, and they are bawling on the field. I mean, it's great theater, but also very heart-wrenching. But I'm the fact that Qatar could profit off of their hate, it's crazy. And I think they're also talking about having them host the Olympics, and I'm absolutely not. Absolutely
why?
Not.
Why are they even
pick somebody else to do it?
Yeah.
That is crazy. They should not. I don't know who picks the place, but Qatar is not it.
Qatar been working so hard on their country. Oh man,
have they?
Yes, I went to Qatar back in 2017, 18, something like that, and everything has changed. Oh, they've been preparing for this bullshit.
Yeah, because they're preparing for the monnie, and
yes.
even though I'm the people of the country, they shouldn't have to pay for it, but I'm sorry, there are certain views that you have that it shouldn't align with people's dollars or people having to die.
Right.
Because how many of these players are queer, gay, whatever, and then their life is at stake for your own entertainment?
I was confused about that when I heard that. I'm like, Qatar, the Middle East, why? What's happening here?
Yeah.
This is it wasn't given. I don't know.
So
I don't know who picked that, but
it's very they bought it. They bought
it's crazy.
They bought the World Cup, I guess.
They bought the World Cup. Probably the
this
money.
is my assumption because I don't understand.
Because who picks? Who picks? They need to pick someplace else, not America, because we got our own shit to go on. Go somewhere else. Go to
Brazil, whatever.
Right. Go somewhere
Yeah.
else. Go to Ireland. I don't know, but get the fuck up out of Qatar. Like, that is
Yeah.
crazy. And RIP to that man.
Yeah, that's really crazy.
That is
Not me
crazy.
caring about sports. Because I said, holy shit.
And a white man. 2 for 1.
A twofer. A double homicide. Oh. That was in poor taste.
We on a roll today.
Yeah. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
Oh God, let's
Canceling
move on.
ourselves one by one.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be Salone at all today.
What I do? Anyway.
Oh no.
I did nothing. I did nothing wrong. Viewers.
All right, it's time for our favorite segment. Oh, you want to turn that? You want to turn that off? You on TikTok? Who's listening to TV in the back? Anyway, let's go on to
Eric. I have a good one. So
that was bad.
the Grammys are February 5th, 2023. And they're doing a tribute to Whitney Houston. And they decided to pick by far the most soulful singer they could find, J-Lo. And I'm just kerfumbled. Like, of all the people, you know what? They didn't hear the intro. I'm going to send them my intro. Once they hear me do the, maybe they'll swap me in for her. Because why the hell are they going to pick J-Lo to do a Whitney Houston tribute? Why? And she had the nerve to say she thinks she has the vocal range to do it. Do you think you think so? Unless it's going to be a spoken word, she should not be doing this.
Bro,
she should not be doing this.
The N-word, I remember in that song, I was like, wait, is that what song? I'm real the way you are. I was like, did she
said
just
niggas?
Yeah.
That was the Shanti singing that song, though.
It sure wasn't.
It wasn't her, it was Shanti. So I saw that circulating on the medias of socials. And I said, this is a meme, as my cousin calls it. This has to be a meme. It's a meme. I think the Grammys is doing a surprise. It's a switch, a bait and switch. Is that what it is? I think it's a bait and switch. Because of all the people, if they wanted somebody white, Celine Dion's still alive, right? Okay,
she is sick, but she's alive.
Oh, she's sickly.
Yeah, she got diagnosed with something recently.
Thoughts and prayers. Is what's that girl name?
Mariah? She could.
No, not Mariah. She can't sing for years.
I know, but
Kelly Clarkson.
Huh?
Kelly Clarkson can still do it.
Oh, we're talking about whites, right? I'm like, Amber Riley's still alive and thriving,
and young, and black.
You could have got little Ariana Grande ponytail, the ponytail slayer.
Definitely could have got the Grandes.
If you wanted to go and get somebody racist and white, Sabrina Claudio, is that girl alive?
Sabrina Claudio, who I think are two older white women. Is it Bette Midler,
Reba
and
McEntire,
somebody, Reba, Bette Midler, and there's another white lady that could have done it. There's a lot of them.
There's so many. There's so many. If you wanted to go, like, there are so many other people that you could have got before you picked Jennifer Lopez.
Mm-hmm. It's very shocking.
And here's my thing about Jennifer Hudson. Why not?
I mean, nobody want to hear her well, but she's the obvious choice because you know, a Fantasia. I mean, and
Yolanda Adams, where's she been? She ain't done a song in a while. She ain't done a tribute in a while, and she's the tribute queen.
They couldn't get Mary, Tina and Erica. Like what?
Mary, get them.
They could have got Donnie McClurkin if they wanted to go with a man. I would take Luke.
They could have got Titus. Is that his real name? Is it? What's his real name?
Titus Burgess.
Yes.
Could
have got him.
I'm
I
happy
would even
nobody's
take
saying Kirk.
I would take motherfucking Jennifer Lewis. And I know Brandy is writing in that journal as we speak every day. Because she is like, how dare they not pick me? Monica is, I'm surprised Gunica is not on the lives talking about how the Grammys have lost their goddamn mind.
It's very shocking.
Let's just see how it plays out.
Jennifer Lopez.
And my question is like, I mean, you know what? You have to hype yourself up. But my question is like, why would she take on the role? And I ask this a lot about a lot of questionable things artists do, actors as well. Why did you accept the role? You know what I mean? You thought really that you had the same vocal range as Whitney Houston when the top singers say they can't do some of her runs, they can't sing like her, like people who are singers.
I'm sorry. In the year of our Lord, Jasmine Sullivan.
Well,
Jasmine Sullivan.
Jasmine.
It just really don't, like, you know how something settles in?
Jasmine.
I'm like,
Jazzy Jazz.
Y'all can get Jazz?
Yeah.
She was available, I'm sure.
Even her. We could have got her.
Get Gabby, yes.
The point is, the list is endless.
I would even take a Chloe Bailey sexy rendition.
Chloe and
you think Chloe should do You Give Good Love?
I'll take SZA.
No.
I'll take SZA.
Now that's a Jersey Queen, but nobody wants to hear Whitney Houston in script, okay? Like, I'm sorry.
I'll take her.
SZA sings in cursive.
Like, you could have got Haley. Haley, because she's more melodic. She's also our new Black Mermaid. The point is, anybody. And you know what's so funny? I mean, I do love a conspiracy, but they always say she's an industry plant, Jennifer Lopez.
They've been saying that for years. It's true.
You know what? I'm sorry. It gotta be true.
What does an industry plant even mean, though?
That I don't know. But I will say this. She may or may not be one, but Tommy Mottola, he did. Yeah, he did push her to the forefront just despite Mariah Carey. That I believe, because men ain't shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think from there, it just kind of like spiraled out of control. Now she's just like this. She's just industry plant mastermind who's just right. Because who watches her movies?
My thing is because what you talking about? That what's the Made in Manhattan? That was my shit.
She had one come out like I think this year. No one watched it. I don't think anyone watched it.
She's still making movies?
I think so.
She exactly.
That one. Wait.
I think it's called Just Married or Marry Me with
Marry Me.
Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Flat Nose King.
That was in the theaters, right?
I think it's funny. Wow. It was in movie theaters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boy. Wow. She is really
Here's the thing. I don't want to say humble yourself because I don't believe in one humbling themselves. I don't believe in that, Mm-hmm. But I do think like we have to be realistic. I don't know. I'm torn. But I just think this is wrong.
Yeah.
Because she also was upset that she had to share NFL with Shakira.
Uh-huh.
And it's like international superstar Shakira.
Shakira?
That's Shakira?
Hips don't lie, Shakira?
Hips don't lie.
How dare you?
I work in a club, and I can tell you at least I work 4 days a week, and I'm pretty sure 3 out of those 4 days we're hearing Shakira, and the crowd goes wild every time.
Listen, I'm still trying to get my hips to move like that. I'm still trying to get my hips to do that. Yeah. I can't quite get it together. Right. So what you talking about? How dare you?
And also, lots of other artists have shared the stage for Super Bowl a lot. Like Beyonce, who is she with? Adam Levine.
Oh, was she?
Right? Is that?
No, maybe her first time ever.
Yeah, before her own concert.
Right.
It was someone else
before the Bay Bowl.
Even Janet Jackson and the infamous.
Right, and you think first of all, I would even take a Janet Jackson tribute to Whitney Houston before I listen to Jennifer Lopez. Now I'm gonna tune in on the socials. I'm gonna watch it through TikTok through somebody else watching it because I'm not giving them my views. That's insane. That's insane. Crazy. Wow.
We gonna see it though. We gonna talk about it.
Right. Shit. Let me start. I'm a me. right? Just start singing I love the Lord, right? I love the Lord. Like, girl, what?
That sounds good.
The fuck is wrong with Jennifer Lopez? You know what? I was watching the Quinta and Oprah interview.
And
they were cackling over the fact that they never felt imposter syndrome, and I was like, I can't relate. I cannot relate to these people. And now I need to watch Jennifer Lopez interviews because I'm like, is she also someone who doesn't believe in imposter syndrome? She thinks she's worked hard for everything that she's gotten.
She said it on in multiple interviews. Yes, she has. Yes, she has.
I've never watched a Jennifer Lopez interview.
She worked her ass off. I mean, I've just come across things. I don't, set out to be like, oh, let me type this in and see what's going on.
Let me tap in.
No, but she's definitely, I've read and heard multiple times that she's worked her ass off for what she has. Nothing was handed to her. So she most definitely does not have imposter syndrome. No way. She thinks she deserves all of it and more. So...
Interesting.
Yep. I guess she can dance, I don't know. I can't dance.
I mean, she has worked hard in her life, I guess.
Right. And
she shows up to work. Viola...
No, I mean, here's the thing. She does work hard. Or she's been working, right? I just feel like you cannot sing.
Right.
You're not a singer. Everyone is not a singer. You're an entertainer.
Right. Because I will... Listen... I tried to watch that movie with her and Viola.
What movie was that?
I forget.
When she was getting abused?
Yeah, and they're like back to back on it's like a drama.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch it.
It's like dark. I tried. I couldn't even tell you what that movie was about. I just know I said enough. I think that's the name of it, Enough.
Enough. It was Enough. The one
is it Enough?
Fighting and stuff?
No. Enough. No. Enough.
Yeah,
enough was when she was being abused.
Her child, her daughter.
Yeah, I think it's Enough.
Viola wasn't enough though, was she?
No, no, that wasn't the movie with Viola.
No, they had a different movie.
Oh, like it was like Jennifer Lopez, Viola Davis. Like I couldn't tell you what the movie was actually. I'm gonna look it up right now. Like,
wait,
Lila and Eve.
I'm sorry.
Didn't see that coming.
Never.
Lila and Eve, two distraught mothers whose children were gunned down in a drive-by, team up to avenge their deaths after local authorities failed to take action.
2015.
In 2015. It is an hour and 34 minutes that I couldn't get through. I think I probably watched 25 minutes of it. It was unbearable.
I'm gonna watch
Stallone
it.
is gonna be on. It's gonna be on Stars at 5:25 today. So if you wanna.
Perfect. Just got it. I will be
tap right into it.
I'll be tuning. But Enough was pretty terrible. Enough was enough for me. But yeah, that was good at all.
Also, fuck her because she married that man on a plantation.
She sure did. Yeah, she did.
Right. Wild. Wild. Oh, okay. So let's just move on. We have a special guest. I know that was abrupt AF, but I was looking at the chat like, right. So today for our So Boom, I'm dragging it. You have a Subway series, don't you?
We can skip it because we gotta give a shit. No, she's waiting.
Okay, right. Yeah. Okay.
Get this show on the road.
So we have a special guest today. We have Malika Aaron Bishop. And she is Salome. You are a fucking clown, bro.
She's gonna curse me the fuck out.
She is Salome's sister.
Salome, did you dead ass just say no religion? That's what the
I knew she was gonna come on.
Really?
I was like,
right.
why y'all come on Black? And I'm like, oh, she can see this, can she?
Exactly. Of course you could.
I'm leaving. No, bye. I'm done.
The disrespect is disrespecting.
Disrespectful ass.
Look at our faces. They can tell. Come on now.
They can. It's the nose.
Wow. Oh, my insecurity on full blast. Thanks.
Just wow.
Right.
Always.
Matter of fact, let me get a Summer Walker. The hell? Talk
No,
about
she went too far.
What? What?
She looks crazy to me.
What?
It's yeah. She don't look like herself at all.
At all. It was so weird because she's so pretty. She was so beautiful.
She was, but you
Oh,
know,
well,
if you don't
you
feel
know.
pretty, you don't feel pretty.
Mental instability, you know? That's
Listen, mental health is a thing.
Mental health is a thing. Okay, so guys, why the fuck do we have her on this week? Because it's holiday time. And I don't know about y'all, but the family dynamics is just rearing its ugly head. So we are going to talk about family dynamics. We're going to talk about navigating the complexities. The complexities of family and belonging as someone who's met their family later in life. I can relate to it kind of because I kind of was reintroduced to my family at the age of 16. I think I was like in the 9th grade. I wasn't with my father's side of the family from like 9 until I was 16 years old because my mother just said, I don't know.
No mas.
She said, fuck those niggas and you won't see my daughter. And I was like, yeah, I have a daddy, but where that nigga went?
Right.
Where he at, lady? And she was like, don't worry about it. You'll never see them ever again. Oh God,
Wow.
my trauma. Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. She hated that nigga. So yeah, so I can relate, and I will let Salone and Malika tell their story, and then we'll jump in from there.
I will let Malika tell her story, introduce herself, and
all right.
echo for that. You know, I'm the echoer.
So just straight into the fire. Okay, cool. Well, first of all, let me fangirl a little bit because I'm so excited to be here, and I always be watching y'all. Y'all are hilarious as hell. I feel like the fifth friend that's on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Before I get into the heavy stuff, I was really curious to hear all about what y'all are mad at Eric for. Whole list, book, as a matter of fact, of things that I'm mad at Eric for. But anyway, that's not why I'm here today. Hi, I am Malika Aaron Bishop, folks, and the Bishop in my last name is a new addition because for as long as I have ever known myself, I was always Malika Aaron. If you look at any of my, school diplomas from all of the billions of schools that I went to when I was younger, it was always Malika Aaron. I was always the first person called in class. That's how I knew myself. And it really wasn't until, I should backtrack. I'm Guyanese. Doesn't sound like it, probably doesn't look like it, but I wasn't born here. I emigrated here just before high school, basically. And but I traveled a lot between Guyana and here. So I went to basically all over the world, went to schools all over the world. And all of those places known as Malika Aaron. I get to the States, I'm in high school, I make it through, much like you, to my junior year. And I will never forget this day because I had just come back from like band practice or some shit like that, like heavy into the band geekdom when I was in high
gang,
school.
gang.
Yes, listen.
I
Okay.
played the clarinet.
Yes.
Hey.
Also not why we're here today.
As Asia coughs, like, what?
First of all,
Actually, I too played in the band.
okay.
Oh, so
A
we
little
lit.
saxophone and
Okay.
the trumpet.
Okay.
So we all lit. Let's just get our shit together.
Yes,
Hang
we
out.
lit. So I'm home from band practice and the phone rings. I didn't have no cell phone back then. So this is like a real phone, like connected to a cord that's in the wall, right? Like house phone. And this guy is on the other end of the phone. He says, "Hi, can I speak to Malika?" And I'm like, "Yeah, speaking." And he is like, I had hella attitude in high school. And he was like, "My name is Steve and I'm your brother." And I was like, "That's cute. What do you really want?" And he was like, "No, I'm your brother. Like, your father has a lot of kids, and you're one of them. Sir, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm an only child. I've been an only child my entire life, and I don't have brothers and sisters. So you've got the wrong number. He goes, if you don't believe me, go ask your mom and then call me back.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
The confidence.
He
Wow.
left me his telephone number and hung up. Y'all.
This, I don't even know the story. Woo! Okay.
I walked into my mother's bedroom and I was like, so funny thing. Somebody was just on the phone and he says that he's my brother. ... silence. ... I'm blinking at her. She's blinking at me. And then she gives me the biggest views down that you could ever hear in Guyanese. I can't even repeat it. But basically her stance was, what do you mean? Of course you have brothers and sisters. Your father was a whore and blah, 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 blah. Da, 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 da. You've been had brothers and sisters. And like something about them not wanting me and like all this other stuff. It was a whole rant, right? So deflection. So then I had to humble myself and call Steve back, like,
Right.
Well, apparently I'm the one that's dumb in this scenario. Like, I'm the one that don't know what the fuck is going on. Hi, nice to meet you. And so basically he arranged for one of our other sisters to come get me from Jersey, pick me up. No, that's not even what happened. The first time around, me and a really good friend of mine turned sister at the time because she was the one that ended up taking me in once my mother and I separated. Whole other story. She actually rode with me to Queens, and my sister picked me up from there and took me to meet my dad. And
What was that like?
Yeah, what was that like?
What year is this?
This was 2001
Okay.
because I was a junior in high school.
So Sloan, you were here.
2002. No.
Oh, okay. Okay, you weren't here yet.
Not here.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
No one was here yet.
So it's so crazy because you guys are learning as I am as well, because we just shoot the breeze, shoot the shits. We just know we're sisters, and
We talk shit.
We don't go back
We
in
don't do
time
any
like,
of
hey, so how did this go down? Like, we've never spoken about this ever. So I'm learning too.
Yeah. So that was the first time. That was in 2001. By the time Salone came around, I hadn't really... Well, let me back up and answer your question. How was that? It was a lot, is the best way I could describe it. It was all of the feelings you could ever possibly have. Like, I always wanted to know where my dad was. And the person that I thought was my dad, this is the other thing. Like, in my early years in life, there was a father figure in my life. There was a person that my mother was connected to who I remember in my childhood. So I remember him in Guyana before I even left Guyana. I left Guyana when I was 6. He's a person in my life that I remember, right? So when I think of my dad, up until that point, when I thought of my dad, this is the guy that I thought of. And we even left Guyana and went with him to Grenada, where I was living for a while and where he was living for a while. He had a whole career. Like, there was a whole thing. Like, I used to go to school with this dude. I used to go to work with this dude. Like, this was my dad, right? Now, he and my mom fell out and they separated. And so I always thought this was the guy and they separated because they had problems. And I was always the problem. In my mind, I was the problem. So in my mind, I was the reason why my mother and my father were not together. Right. And in my mind, this dude, like, left me behind. So we're talking abandonment issues. We're talking guilt. We're talking all the things, right? So this is like all I've known up until 16. That narrative is in my head more than 16, 17. 17 years, right? By the time him and my mom separated, I was maybe 8.
Okay.
So we're talking a good decade pretty much of me in my head feeling like, oh, I'm the problem. Like, I'm the reason. It's like every divorced kid's narrative, right? If I was better, if I ate my vegetables, if I did this, if I did that, then maybe they would still be together. Or maybe my mother would constantly be leaving to go someplace else. So there's all of that stuff that's sort of in your head. So when Steve called me, I'm like, yo, I got problems of my own, dude. I don't know who you are, who these kids is. I don't know what you're talking about, but like I had already had that narrative. But also a part of that narrative is the constant chase, like trying to be good enough, trying to be better, trying to find this person, trying to reach out, I was trying to parent trap the two of them, right? There was all this stuff.
Your mom
my mom and the guy that I thought.
Okay.
So like all of this energy going into having this father in my life and wanting siblings and feeling very lonely and like always having to, like, if shit goes wrong in the house, guess what? It's only me. Right. It doesn't matter if I did it or not. It's my fault. Right. So when I met my dad, it was like an explosion of emotion. It was relief. It was anger. It was sadness. It was what the fuck. It was disbelief. It was, how do I have this whole history that I don't know anything about? It was disappointment that my mother didn't think that she could tell me the truth. It was disappointment that nobody on my mother's side, who obviously knew the scenario, didn't feel like they loved me enough to put me out of the misery I had clearly been torturing myself with, right? Like, it's not like I was quiet about what was going on in my head. So y'all all watched me torture myself and did nothing about it. So there was a lot of that. And then there was a lot of it that made sense. Like, if there is a motherfucker on this planet that you can't tell shit, that's my father. And I have never seen that in anybody else but me. You can't tell me shit. I don't care what it is. I don't care what we're talking about. You can't tell me shit. And I get that from my dad. And I had literally never seen that. Like, watching him in action was like watching myself in action in some ways.
You're triggering me.
And it was like, yo.
You're triggering me. I gotta tell you. You're fucking
I'm sorry. I love you.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a lot. It really was a lot. That moment was really loaded. And those first few months were really nice. Like, I got to learn about his work. I got to learn where my love of music comes from.
Were you initially embraced immediately?
By my father?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. I definitely think so.
And a question, did you feel like, why didn't you look for me? Or was that one of the questions? Like, if you knew that I existed, why would you not, try your best to find me or whatever?
I think that comes later. I know for me that came later. Not that he didn't find me. My father was in jail. But it was like, it comes later because, like, first you're just like, I don't know. It's kind of like I was, like, completely relieved.
Okay. Yeah.
Because my mother's side of the family, I was raised by them I was raised by them. So it's like, I'm always a little different. And because my mother's side of the family, my father's, they grew up together in the same building. So they have a shared knowledge outside of me, and they have a conflict before I can, like, I'm kind of like the glue that holds them together, which is tricky as fuck. But they have their own relationship outside of me already. But it was just like, oh, so you guys all knew, and you knew what my mother was doing was wrong. Like, I had aunts who would say that. They're like, oh, your mother's tripping. But I'm like, but do something about it. But then they're like, well, I'm not getting into this. So once I met my father, it was just like, when I met him again, I was just like, right, this is me. Like, the same thing. It's such a relief because it's like, oh, now I fully know who I am. I felt like a whole person. That's why I asked how you, because you kind of like, there's a knowing. I don't know how to explain it, but
No,
I felt
that's
whole
right.
in
It's
this.
a knowing.
Yeah, it was like, okay, now I see the best parts of me. I see everything. I see exactly who I am now.
Yeah.
The good and the bad from this side, the good and the bad from this side. That's really who I am. And it was just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it was relief because
yeah. Most of my anger at that point was directed at my mom, if I had to be honest with you. My mom and my mother's side of the family. Because y'all really had me out here looking stupid, is how I felt. So, to be honest, though, Simone, that's a lot of how I feel now about my dad. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you knew, how come you didn't? Right. How come you didn't do more about it?
And that's what Ty was saying. That it comes later. It comes.
That's
later.
How I have to feel. Yeah.
Did he know that you existed?
He did, and let him tell it. I was living with them, or living with him for almost 2 years, actually, which is crazy to me because that's 2 years of my life that I have no memory of. And it's crazy because it's not like I have no memories of Guyana. I did leave Guyana when I was young, but I have memories of Guyana. I have memories of places I lived there. I have memories of things that I did there. I have memories of people I was with there. So to have these 2 years with all of these siblings that I completely have something must have happened because I blocked that shit out. Blocked it out. It's completely blocked. But to answer your question, Asia, he knew, and the way he tells it, it's almost like he was protecting my mom from getting in trouble for how she took me out of the country. And that he thought that she was just taking me to go see my uncle in Montserrat, which she did do. But he thought that like she was going to take me and come back. And we never came back. Like, we just never came back. Like, she left one day and then that was it. I was gone. And then let him tell it. He didn't know that I was here. Like, by all the traveling that I did, I ended up here. He ended up here. But he didn't know until Steve told him. And Steve didn't know until he ran into my aunt on my mother's side. To this day, I still don't know where they ran into each other, because like, where do you ever go that Steve would be? like, unless Steve was at a church somewhere, I really have no idea where he would run into my aunt. But whatever.
That's a lie.
Listen, so my dad says that he didn't know I was here until Steve ran into my aunt. My mother says that she wrote him a letter and told him that I was here, that we were here, like as soon as we got here. And she says that she wrote him that letter so that he could file for me, so that I would have the kind of life that I needed here. And she says that he ignored that letter and that she never heard from him and he never reached out. So in her mind, she's like, well, fuck that nigga. And, let my father tell it, she's lying.
And then there you are, somewhere in the middle, trying to figure out the truth, which is so unfair and messy. Oh, parents.
Right. And, I don't really feel like I have to figure out the truth now. Like, 38-year-old Malika now doesn't feel like I have to figure out the truth. But
why?
Because it doesn't matter.
Why?
It really doesn't. It doesn't matter because ultimately I'm still the one who has to deal with the consequences. Whether you reached out to him or not, whether you knew I was here or not, I'm still living the life that I'm living right now based off of those decisions, whatever the decisions were.
True. Yeah.
I still have to deal with the consequences. So I feel like oftentimes when I get in conversation with either one of them, it's like, well, if your dad had, or, you know, if your mother had, and I'm like, this is not, how does this help me?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Right.
So, no.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. Because at this point, it's just, it's just fodder for bullshit.
He said, she said, we don't get along. He said, she said, nonsense.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So, and you're right.
And
you do have
to be fair, there's probably truth in both of their stories.
Right.
Probably.
I believe that he believes that, like, even if I was here until he said something. And I believe that she believes that she sent a letter and said, yo, I'm here. I believe them both. But that doesn't help me. That doesn't change my life. So
Right.
That is true.
what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Once you met your family, all these siblings, all these people, did your concept of family shift? Because you said that you operate as a only child for 17 years. This is almost 2 decades of you being you, with you all the time. So now coming into a siblingship, yes, I just coined that term, a siblingship.
Trademarked.
Right. It's a different way to navigate with people now, because now you have to not only just like, when you think of siblings, people think of like having to share, but also like now you have to divide time with your dad, with these people that's already know him, and now you have to like kind of get in where you fit in.
Huh. That's an interesting question. So this is going to sound bad.
Wow. Okay. Logging off.
Well, Salone she's already canceled us at the top of the episode. 5 minutes in. 5 minutes in, she has canceled us. So you're safe to say whatever the fuck.
She said logging off. Yeah, I'm done. No, this is going to sound kind of bad, but like, you don't turn off only child after 2 decades.
Oh, of course not.
Like, you don't turn that off. So I don't compete for shit. No. But that's where some of the problems come in, right? Because I don't compete for shit. So I'm here now. You know I'm here now. And so if you're not making time to spend with me, if you don't find value in spending time with me, then that's a decision that you made. So I don't ever feel like I have to battle my siblings for my father's like appreciation. I don't ever feel like I have to like wrangle and coerce time away from my siblings in order for my dad to appreciate me. As far as I'm concerned, like, you made me. And so if you want to be in a relationship with me, then you'll be in a relationship with me. And the fact that you're not tells me what I need to know. So that's point number one. I don't know, Salone, how you feel about that. But so that's one. But two, I also sort of carry that over into the relationships that I do have with my siblings, right? So Salone came through and we were thick as thieves as soon as she got here. Like, as soon as she got here.
Didn't even know how she got here. I'm like, oh, okay.
Salone came through and was like, oh, well, okay, cool.
No one ever said to me, oh, we found another. No, it was just like, oh, this is Malika. This is. So I'm like, oh, well, she must have always been here, and okay, cool. No one said
ask
to me,
no questions.
No one says anything.
You came from Guyana to a house in Mad Siblings. You were like,
just
right, let's go with the house.
This is her, and it's like, again, this is why we never spoke about anything, because what was there to speak about? I don't know. Like, there's nothing to speak about. She's just my sister, and that's it. I didn't know there was a whole history and a whole trauma and a 1,000 other siblings. And siblings we're still finding. Like,
Can I just say, parents are so crazy, because I know I have, like, my dad was a Rolling Stone, but we all know each other. But my youngest brother on my dad's side, is Puerto Rican, full Puerto Rican. He is not my father's child, right? He's a Puerto Rican man. Love him dearly. And I remember that when he came over, my dad came to the house with him as a baby in a, what's it called, the car seat?
Mm-hmm.
Set him down and was like, "This is your brother." He's 28, and I'm like 10 years old. Naja's like 7. Nakwaya's, I don't know how old Nakwaya is. Anyway, we're all there,
30.
and he's like, "This is your brother," and we're like, "Okay, who is this Puerto Rican baby?"
That's what.
Now, who he is so my brother Gregory Jr. He's his mother's child. So my father had me with my mom, then he had my sister with her mom, then he had Gregory with his mom, and then he had Nakwai with my sister's mom, and then after that, Zoraida, which is Gregory's mom, had Joshua with a Puerto Rican man. But my dad is like, he's very much of the nature, like, if I'm with you, I'm with your kids.
Right.
Same. My dad.
So when they got back together again, he just brought him over and was like, "This is your brother." And then we were all like, I think we were a baby. We were all like, "A baby? How cool. This is our brother." But it wasn't until, like, like, you don't think about it until you're older. You're like, "Yo, you really brought home a whole Puerto Rican baby." Didn't explain shit. Didn't say shit.
Asked?
No, we're
No.
We're young.
He literally just dropped a baby in the house. This is your brother. We're like, okay. Also, we're 10, and we were like, who? There's like there's context clues.
Mm-hmm.
So Gregory knew him, right?
So
because they lived together.
So you knew the baby was safe.
So we knew this baby from somewhere. It was a kidnapped baby, but there was never a conversation like, well,
they don't.
It was never a conversation where it was like, I'm with Zoraida, and because I'm a responsible man, right, I'm gonna take in her child as well.
No,
that's not a talk I don't think parents have with kids a lot. But that would have been the talk. Hey, I'm with this woman now, and when she's a child, I'm gonna take care of him also, and he's your sibling, because that's the full conversation. But that's not a talk I would see.
The problem is they think kids should stay in kids' places, and they think children are stupid.
I don't care. There was one time my grandmother put extra gifts under the fucking Christmas tree with the names Joshua and Jeremy. Me and my cousin wrote her a letter. Who is Joshua? Who is Jeremy? And whose gifts are these? We don't play that shit. I wish my mother would have brought a kid home. I would have been like, who baby is this?
But I think it's different. Like me and my dad we're close now. When I was a child, we were not close at all.
Also,
like we didn't talk about shit. He was just this man. Mm-hmm. I know he didn't like me. He liked my siblings more. He liked Naja and Kwai much more, for whatever reason. So I was asking the questions. I was just like, whatever. Now my mother started to tangent. I was the only child for 17 years also with my mother. And then she got pregnant, and I was like, I think to this day, my world is still rocked. I literally cried for her entire pregnancy. I cried. It was devastating, because she would always say, "You want a sibling?" I would say, "I don't want any siblings. I have them. I don't want any." And I would tell her that all the time. And then, so when she found out she was pregnant, it was the whole thing. We went out. I remember this day very well. She took me out. She bought me everything I wanted, because I'm spoiled. We went to eat. She's like, "Get whatever you want." And I'm like, "Of course, that's what we do." And then we're sitting there, and she's like, she's not eating fish or drinking. And I said, "Well, this bitch loves seafood and liquor. What the fuck is going on here?" I'm like, "Are you pregnant?" And she said yes. And I cried from the dinner table to the house. I cried the entire weekend. I'm not even a crier. I cried. I was in my room. I don't think I ate that weekend. I cried the entire weekend. I was crying through her entire pregnancy. Just randomly in school, I'm just like I was devastated. So I understand. That shit is wild when you go from having to share a parent.
Yeah, 'cause I was the only child for almost 8 years. And then my mother brought home this light-skinned little boy. And I was like, if you're going to bring home a baby, at least bring home a girl. I tried to kill this little nigga. I threw all of my stuffed animals in his crib trying to suffocate him. I never wanted him. And when my mother, again, me and my siblings were 7 and 14 years apart. And then when I was in high school, and she hid the pregnancy, and one day we were walking down the street, and my grandmother friend said, "Oh, so-and-so was pregnant." She said, "Oh, you pregnant?" And my mother said, "Oh, yeah." And I said, "Huh, Now, I said, you asked me a couple of months ago if I wanted another sibling, and I said unequivocally no. We don't need another motherfucker in here. No, but I don't mean like competing for your father's attention. That's not what I meant. I just meant once you have other siblings, there's I don't know. There's like kind of like a different negotiation, but I do understand what you're saying because it's like I've gone all this time without you. So it's kind of like take it or leave. And that's where me and my father is right now in our relationship. That he was my boy. But also I'm like, for somebody who's missed a lot for the choices that you've made, you're slacking, and that's cool for you. But I'm cool.
Yeah.
And
I don't think that it's not that I didn't notice, right? Or it's not that things didn't hurt. So for instance, Salone, can I talk about when we were in band together? No?
Y'all went to the same high school?
no,
No, my father's band.
Oh.
Daddy's band. Yeah.
Our father's band.
Oh, you were on the steel pins.
Yeah.
She's on the one.
So
Played them too.
we don't need to talk that much about it.
Thank God.
But
as soon as I
yeah.
could.
Yeah. Salone and I both play bass. And I remember, first of all, those were some of like, talk about bonding with my siblings. That's probably when I felt closest to them. Specifically closest to so Salone's mother's kids. So specifically Salone and her two brothers from their mom. I think that that's probably the reason, even right now, why I still maintain relationships with them in a different way than I have relationships with my other siblings. Because we were in band together. But I would remember how Daddy could remember so-and-so's birthday from such and such and go and buy food and this and that, and all the band moms would come and set up, and we got this and we got this, and you got to sing happy birthday. It was a whole to-do.
Blocked out of my mind, by the way. No idea.
A whole to-do. Mm-hmm. Never remembered my birthday. Ever. To this day, I'm sure, still doesn't know when I was born. But so those are the things that I noticed.
Can I
interject?
And
those are the things that hurt. Yeah, go.
My dad still thinks I'm probably in my 20s. Our dad, he has no idea when my birthday is. Every year, my mom forgot, I think, was it last year or the year before? Yeah, I think it was last year. She forgot. She called me on the 9th. And he's like, yeah, happy birthday. And I hung up because I'm like, wow, you have one job. You have one job. Not more so my dad, but my mom. You have one daughter, one job. What are we doing here? I remember I was furious, but I expect nothing less from Daddy at all. I'm nothing more, I should say. He doesn't know my age. He doesn't know my brother's age. So I'm like, this is where I jump in and say that he just sucks. You understand? He just sucks as a dad. He does not, it's not just you. It's me too. I feel neglected, and I've known this man since, you know what I'm saying? Since I was born. I knew this was my dad, but I knew also that he took care of us, financially, this and the third, but in terms of spending quality time, knowing your likes and dislikes, or your birthdays, things that are important to you. Listen, I'm having a child. You would think that he would, at least show up, at the baby shower or the gender reveal or whatever. He's not. He doesn't think it's important. So it's literally not just you. It's just him as a person. He's very selfish. And I say this quite openly. I say this to his face. So I don't want you to feel like you're just forgotten when it's literally all of us. He has no idea how old I am. None. No clue. No clue.
I believe that.
No clue.
And so I think this is the distinction I would make, though. And this is where the only child thing comes in, right? Because comparative suffering isn't my deal.
Correct.
It isn't like, it's not that it doesn't matter that he forgets your birthday also.
Right.
Right? That's not my point. My point is, I know that you are capable of remembering birthdays and shutting the whole band down so that we can celebrate said birthday, because I've watched you do it X number of times. Funny how that doesn't apply to me.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean that it also doesn't apply to Salone, or it doesn't apply to this person or this person or this person. But my point is, he can do it. He is capable of doing it.
That's where the selfishness comes in.
Right. But see, that's where you're knowing him for the time that you've known him, and growing up with him makes a difference. You know what Arisi said to me the other day? So at Salone's baby shower, Arisi like rocked my whole
That's
fucking
my
world.
brother,
Like,
by the way.
yes, Arisi's my brother.
01 and 02.
01 and 02.
01 and 02, yes. So Arisi said to me, the difference with you, Malika, is that you came up with love. And when you come up with love, you expect different. And we didn't expect different. Yo, I was supposed to be there for Salome celebrating my nephew coming through. I was over there like fighting back tears. I needed to call a therapist, phone a friend.
Right,
It was the whole thing, because that really hit me. Because he's right. I did expect better. I absolutely expect better. And more so, I feel like all of his kids have a right to accept better, to expect better.
Yeah.
Whether that's their expectation or not is besides the point. Whether they've been disappointed by him for however long, or felt neglected by him for however long, is besides the point. They still have a right to expect better.
Yeah.
Again, that's where my only child comes in, because like, bruh, like I didn't choose this.
Right.
I didn't bust a nut.
I tell my parents all the time, I had nothing to do. I had no say up in that room. I had no say up in that room, love. That was y'all choice.
Exactly.
Right.
So, but I believe you, Salome. I really do.
Yeah. Can you not see the lovelessness in my and the hole in my heart?
You are dumb.
No, seriously.
You are quite loving.
But that's quite no. I mean, like the need for it. It's quite empty. You know, it can't be filled. You know what I mean? So yeah, like we weren't.
It
brought
can't
up on
be
that.
filled, or you're afraid to want it to be filled.
No. I want
different.
it to be. I do want it to be filled.
Okay.
But sometimes, people who were brought up with that stuff, they just don't think that, one needs it. Because it's like, oh, it's expected. Even like,
right.
With my partner, it's like, oh, you weren't? What do you mean? You know what I mean? Like, doesn't understand, can't relate. You know what I mean? Grew up with love, might not have grown up with a lot of stuff, material things or whatever, but the love was always shown. In my case, and in our case, my two brothers and I, we weren't. Like, we were not. Someone says, I love you. You're like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, I don't
what's happening here?
Like,
what's
no
what?
one says, I love you. No.
Wait,
one.
your mom either?
No.
Say that word again. Hold on. Let me grab this dictionary.
I had the opposite effect. My mother's side of the family, they are not affectionate. To know that we love you and we fuck with you is if we belittle you within an inch of your life until you're crying, and then if you need something, it's provided. So when I met my father's side of the family, those people are so affectionate. Like, it blew my mind. Blew my mind. It's always like, oh, I love you, and if I don't say, I'm like, oh, okay. They'd be like, oh, love you, Shauna, and I'd be like, oh, okay, I'll see you next time.
Yeah,
and my grandmother was like,
I'm telling you.
And my grandmother was like, what? My paternal grandmother, she was like, you're just going to walk out the door? You're not going to give me a kiss? And I said, is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
And then
it's wild.
And she would like make me kiss her on the lips. And forever, I was like, this is weird. I was like, this family is odd.
Telling you.
But then I was like, oh, this is affection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never felt
This is
it.
affection.
Never
And I was
felt
like,
it.
I said, huh,
Never felt it.
interesting. Now, one thing, my father, I'm his first child. So I will say one thing about that man. He has many flaws. He will never not tell me the sun rises and sets on me, except when he's upset. And he's like, you know how my daughter is. Like, just leave her alone. You know how she get. But, like, that man, if I was to post a picture right now on Facebook, he would share it and write in Ebonics some shit that I can't read, but like the affection is always there, the words are always there. The action, however, is 100% lacking. But then as you become older, you kind of have to forgive your parents. Like whatever, like what Malika said, like what do I do with this? It's like, okay,
Ty,
I guess
until something big comes up where it's like, okay, so
something big already came up. My father, the one thing that I've always wanted, and I said on this podcast, like since I was a kid, I just wanted a picture of me graduating with me in the middle and my mom and my dad. That's all I ever wanted. Graduated from college. That's all I ever wanted.
I'm so sorry.
I invited that man to my college graduation. You know he did not show up.
Yeah, I get it.
You know he did
That
not
hurts.
show up. You know the devastation. And
Yeah.
thank God my grandmother was still, or was she still alive? I don't know if she had just passed. No, she was still alive. And she went off on him for me because I think he was at some woman's house. And I was just like, what a way. Mm-hmm. That's when I realized, I was like, your words mean absolutely nothing for me. Like, they mean absolutely nothing.
He gave you words. Yeah. He gave you hope. Mine.
And me and my father, I was like, because, you know, black, like, whatever, people have, women especially have, like, this daddy syndrome. So I was always like, I know my father. I know what my dad, and then I was like, well, what does a father actually mean? What is it that he was supposed, like, what is it? So you can't give me financially, and I understand that. And I come, and by no means is like my mother's side of the family like rich or anything, but they have money, they have things, they're driven by such material possession and unwavering support of showing up when shit is rocky for you. I would give them that. But I was like, okay, what he gives, I was like, you can't give financially, you do give in affection. And he did take me in when my mother threw me out because she was being petty, because I had a relationship with him, and she was like, well, go live with him. And he said, she will. So I went and lived with him and his girlfriend and her fucked up kids in the project. When I tell you, I am still traumatized to that. But I was like, at least he did that. And I'm like, okay, you can show up in other ways. But at some point, you have to give more. I felt entitled to more. Because I'm like, I don't ask for much. So you have to show up in the ways that I just need you to show. And I'm not asking for much. So then I was like, well, he is a father of mine. But he's not a dad.
And that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah. You know what's crazy about you saying that? I was going through the flashes of my life, like my graduations. He didn't come to any graduation except 4th grade, but whatever. But I was thinking about that. I was like, you know, it's so crazy because I always say when I'm dating someone, I don't ask for much, and I should ask for much. And it was like this thing that I was almost proud of. Why am I so proud? I should ask for everything. But as you're saying this, I'm like, fucking, I too got daddy issues because this nigga done set me up for failure. I thought I had a good grasp on things, and I'm like, I don't be asking for nearly enough. Probably because this nigga wasn't giving me enough to know to ask for more. Because he has said things to me. If he said, the man won't marry you, don't be with him. He has said, like, he has given me, like, you know, gems of dating. But he never said to ask for more, because he ain't giving shit.
Right.
I mean, he's much better now. My dad now is like, he gives me everything, and I ask for a lot too. Yesterday I was like, hey, can you come by and get my Home Depot card and go buy me some tissue? He's like, yes. So now I ask him for everything. I ask him for the most ridiculous things. But it's all coming together now. It's all coming together now.
At least he'll say yes. Mine? Listen,
Yeah.
I just had I didn't realize how much it would affect me. Okay, so we had the gender reveal August 14th. Do you know that my father came from Guyana. First of all, he lives here in the United States of America, but you would think that he lives in the Republic of Guyana. Cool. I get it. Okay, so him coming back, it's like, okay, so you're here for the gender reveal. We're gonna find out, the sex of your millionth grandchild. I guess you don't care. You have so many, it doesn't really matter. But do you know that man was in the house and did not come out for the celebration? He traveled from Guyana to the Americas to sit in the house and not find out what I was having. His last girl.
Oh, I'm sorry.
His last child that was born a female. You didn't come out because you don't care. That's what I got. Fine. He's like, yes, I was at the window. I see everything, Daddy, but you were not
at the window.
Yeah, but you were not outside. Like, I don't understand. What do you mean you're at the window? I see everything, girl. I see everything. When they bust the balloon and all them thing that I'm like, okay. But again, you weren't outside. Cool. No problem. You were here. Now, this is August, September, October, November, December. You have 4 months to know that there's a baby shower that's going to be, thrown for me. And I'm like, you know what? Shits and giggles. I call him a week before. I was like, so Daddy, you're really not coming? He's like, no, girl, I got a lot of things to do. It's just me here in Guyana. You know what it is? It is only in America that y'all just pay attention to these nonsense. Got it. Copy. Also, men don't even go to baby showers. I said, Daddy, I hung up with a quickness because it's like, I understand it might not mean a lot to you, but you act like I'm popping out my fourth kid. You know what I mean? I get that. It's like a first for me, and it's a lot. This is probably the biggest thing in my life that I probably will ever do. You know what I mean? Like, ever. And you're not there. And it doesn't matter to you. You know what I mean? It does not matter to you. So, like, where is whatever mattered to you? Nothing ever mattered to you. But I've never done anything as big. Oh, you didn't come to this graduation. You didn't do this. I didn't celebrate my 16th, my 18th, my 21st. I didn't do any of those things. So it didn't really like register to me that I cared that much. But last week really showed me like, whoa, this nigga don't give a fuck about you at all. So, he's a father, but he's definitely not a dad. And I too have daddy issues. Like, I'm with a partner that takes such good care of his kids, and he knows their every needs. And, he might not be with their mom, but they would never feel like their father doesn't care about them. And it's just, I just see the difference in, like, y'all not even together and y'all get love from both sides. Like, that is crazy to me. Like, as the kid me would be so envious. Like, wow, your parents are not together, but you feel so much. He goes out of his way, my partner, for his children. And I've never seen that done with two parents in a household with us. Never. Ever. So, I don't know. We all got
an interesting ride ahead of you then.
Honey.
Because there's no way that you will have to navigate kind of being jealous of your kid at some point.
Well, you know what? I'm going to just leave. I'm going to just drop this kid off and leave. Because clearly he's going to be good.
Let me say this. Wait, hold on. Hold on, Ty. Wait. Ty, let me say this. Sloan is a Debbie mom in the making. Yesterday, I asked her for a buddy pass to Nigeria for August or July. And I was saying two of my coworkers they're going to be going home during that time. I want to go hang out with them, whatever. She says I'm going. I'm like, I'm sorry. Your child will be 7 months old. Where the fuck are you going?
Right.
She goes, I'm like, no, you're not going anywhere. You're going to be fucking breastfeeding, pumping and dumping, loving on your newborn baby. Like, cut the shit. Like, stop.
You know what, though?
Thank you.
Here's what I will say. I feel like y'all are underestimating Salome. Because for all her shit and for all her shit talk, like, Salome is like, I feel like Salome, you won't see Salome.
That's
I
not
feel
true.
like nobody
we know. No, we know that.
We know.
We
She
know.
don't know.
She don't
She's
know.
a liar.
I feel like,
She gaslights us as if
like Salome.
like we literally as adults didn't see our mothers give birth. Like me and Asia, I'm like, no, like you're not gonna want to leave that baby.
Yes, she's a liar.
Guys,
We know this.
100%.
Guys, the baby will be in good hands. You see the father's amazeballs with the kids. So
You know what else I will say? Because not for nothing, that crew, Salone and her two brothers, 01 and 02, that crew. My father has multiple crews. He has crews of 1, crews of 3, crews of 4, crews of 6. They've got a crew of 3 going on, right? But that crew, they're like, maybe it's because our father is still married to their mom, or I don't know what that is. Like, they're still technically a nuclear family or whatever.
Is he?
Woof! Not going to touch it. Not mine to speak on. But what I was going to say is, in terms of a real kind of emotional maturity, and I know Salome doesn't see it. I know she doesn't. But I can tell you from the outside looking in to that unit, they are probably some of the most emotionally mature people that I know. And like I said, when Arisi was like, that's because you grew up with love and you know to expect, like, that's not a thing that I would ever be able to say to myself. That's not a realization that I would just have. You know what I mean? It shows or it displays a kind of emotional maturity to even have that language. So when Salone is like articulating this thing about like, oh, I've never celebrated this thing or that thing or this thing. I never celebrate myself, but I want to celebrate this. And it hurts that you like don't give a fuck enough to come. Yo, like that's not language. When I was feeling that way, that's not language that I had. It just wasn't. It wasn't language that I had to say to myself. It wasn't language that I had to say to anybody else. It wasn't language that I had to sort of share. You know what I mean? What I did was withdraw. What I did was internalize my feelings. What I did was have it fuel my own negative self-talk. And that's not to say that that doesn't happen with Salone or my brothers either. I'm sure it does. But the fact that it also fuels this sort of emotional awareness, like watching Osafo, I guess he's 02, with his daughter. Like when I watch the kind of men that they are, when I watch Salone interact maybe less with her family, but very much so with her friends, it says to me it's a very different narrative than what you would expect from folks who have this sort of internalized neglect and abandonment. So I think that's important to highlight because there are a lot of different choices that people can make with the kind of cards that we were dealt. And I feel like they made really good choices.
Yeah.
Y'all, we finna be live.
Pontificating, yeah, we back again. To tell your friends, to tell your wretched ass friends.